In a small town, there was a school where a teacher taught with grace and wisdom. She was not only a teacher, but a vision of beauty that made everyone stop and admire. Every morning, she would walk from her home to the school, and her arrival was like a scene from a dream. Her walk carried a quiet dignity, her clothes held a gentle simplicity, and her face glowed with a light that could brighten even the darkest corner. Her presence was like a soft melody in a noisy world, and everyone who saw her felt a moment of peace. Her eyes held the depth of an ancient lake, calm, mysterious, and full of untold stories. When she looked at someone, her gaze was soft and kind, as if she could read the soul beneath the surface. Her lashes were long and thick, and when she blinked, it was like the gentle flutter of a bird's wings. Her forehead was smooth and bright like the moon, untouched by worry or care. Her smile was like the first ray of sunlight after a long night, warm, gentle, and full of promise. When she smiled, her face glowed with a light that made the world feel new again. Her hair was like the silence of the night, dark, deep, and luminous. It flowed like a silken river over her shoulders, moving gently with every step she took. When she walked, her hair caught the light and seemed to dance with a life of its own. Her smile was the kind that made flowers bloom and hearts open. It was innocent, tender, and completely captivating. When she smiled, it was as if the whole world paused to admire the beauty of a single moment. Her neck was like that of a swan, long, graceful, and elegant, as if carved by the hand of a master sculptor. Her figure was delicate, her hands were soft, and her fingers held a gentle tenderness. Her voice carried a sweetness that could calm a troubled heart, like an old flute playing a song that touched the soul. When she spoke, it was as if a poem was being recited, soft, soothing, and deeply moving. She was the kind of woman who could make the world fall in love with her without even trying. At the corner of the street, there sat a drunk man. No one knew who he was, where he came from, or what had become of his life. His clothes were torn, his hair was unkempt, his shoes were broken, and a foul smell lingered around him. He had never loved anyone before, but when he saw this teacher, something stirred inside him, a strange and powerful feeling that made him want to be more than he was. He felt as if he had been asleep his whole life, and suddenly he had woken up. He watched her every day, her walk, her smile, the way her hair danced in the wind. Her eyes drew him in, her voice enchanted him, and her presence filled him with a strange sense of peace. He began to think, who is she? Why is she so beautiful? Could I ever get close to her? He wanted to speak to her, but he felt unworthy, broken, dirty, and invisible. He wanted to change, but he didn't know how. At night, when the town fell silent, he would stand alone under a street lamp and speak to her. He would say, "My beloved is the most beautiful woman in the world. Her hair holds the silence of the night, her eyes shine with the light of the stars, and her smile can brighten the whole valley." He would talk to her, confess his love, and pour his heart out to her. He would stay awake all night, waiting for the morning, waiting to see her again. He decided to change himself. He stopped drinking, he cleaned himself, he bought new clothes, he learned to speak politely, and after months of effort, he became a new man, clean, well-dressed, and confident. He looked at himself in the mirror and thought, maybe now I am worthy of her. He felt a new hope, a new strength, a new reason to live. He began to search for work at the school. He wanted to be close to her, even if it meant doing the smallest tasks, but every time he applied, he was rejected. He did not give up. He asked for help, begged for a chance, and finally, with great effort and the help of an old man, he was given a job as a cleaner at the school. It was a small job, but for him, it was the first step toward her. He began to work with deep care and devotion. He cleaned every room as if he were decorating a temple. He knew which classroom she sat in, and he made sure it was the cleanest and most beautiful room in the whole school. He polished her desk, arranged her chair, and cleaned the board as if it were a mirror reflecting his love. He did all of this with a heart full of hope and a soul full of dreams. Months passed. His hard work and dedication touched everyone who saw him. One day, while he was cleaning her classroom, she walked in and saw him working. She stopped and watched him. She saw the care in his movements, the love in his eyes, and the devotion in his work. She said, "You do a wonderful job. This room has never been so clean. Thank you." Those two words, "thank you," meant more to him than all the riches in the world. His heart soared. His body trembled with joy. He felt as if he was the strongest man in the world and at the same time the weakest. He felt as if he owned all the wealth of the world and at the same time he was the poorest man alive. He felt as if he was the most beautiful man in the world and at the same time the most ugly. He felt blessed and cursed, powerful and powerless, rich and poor, all at once. After that day, he began to clean her classroom with even greater devotion. He would decorate it with flowers, place a small vase on her desk, and arrange her chair with the care of a man preparing a throne for his queen. His love and dedication touched her heart, and she began to speak to him more often. She thanked him, admired his work, and even smiled at him, but he could never express his love. He knew that she was far above him. She was a refined and beautiful teacher, while he was a broken man with a broken past. Her every gesture was graceful, her every word was wise, and her every movement was a work of art. He loved her deeply, but he could never tell her. He believed that she was too good for him and that he would never deserve her. One evening, he stood again under the street lamp. He looked at the night sky and whispered to her, "I may never tell you how I feel, but I will always love you. You have changed me. You have given me hope. You have shown me what love really means." His eyes filled with tears and his heart overflowed with gratitude. And then one day she looked at him differently. She smiled at him, not just a polite smile, but a warm, real smile. She said, "I have seen you, I see you, and I appreciate you." Those words healed his broken soul. He realized that love was not about being worthy, it was about being seen. And for the first time in his life, he felt seen. He did not need to tell her everything. He did not need to speak of love. He just needed to be near her, to serve her, to care for her. And in that silent devotion, he found a peace he had never known. He had changed. He had grown. He had become a better man, not for her, but because of her. And that is the story of a drunk man who fell in love with a beautiful teacher and how that love transformed him. He never spoke of it, never confessed it, but his love lived in every act of kindness, every gesture of care, and every silent prayer beneath the street lamp. It was a love that asked for nothing and gave everything, and in the end, it was enough.